Well, I think we are all good listeners. All of us have evolved that are here today around the world have evolved from people who are good listeners, because 40,000 years ago, when we were all living in caves around the world, listening was an important part of survival. So when we were all in Lascaux at night and some hyenas or a saber-toothed tiger came into the cave, it's all of us that have evolved from the people that heard those predators approached and escaped out to the back of the cave. The people that didn't hear, that weren't listening at the time, came to a very swift evolutionary dead end, and they're not here tonight to enjoy these concerts because they weren't good listeners. Nowadays, listening has become less significant for us because it's not a matter of life and death as it used to be. So I like to think I'm a good listener, of course, but I'm nothing special. We're all good listeners. We don't often get the chance. We tend to hear everything, but we rarely get to listen, engage with it. Again, that's why I like coming here to Saint-Quatre, because the system is so good. You can just relax and listen deeply to the sound and the space and the depth of it. So it's a very engaging exercise, listening in that respect. I've been to Namibia several times, which is why I decided that this would be a good place to work with the sounds of that desert. So I've worked maybe 5 or 6 times in that area with different people, sometimes with scientists, sometimes with guides, sometimes researchers, people who are studying the plants, the animals, the insects of the place. So I try and soak up that knowledge. So I've used it. So this piece is a combination of 5 or 6 trips over about 10 years, and gradually realising that I had some interesting material that I could weave together and compose into one particular piece. In Namibia, to the desert, I took out some ambisonic microphones and made some what are called B format recordings. I also took out some double mid-side, a spatial array of microphones, which I can then decode into lots of different loudspeakers. I think that's the key to a lot of my work. It's the sound of the place, and I try to put, like tonight, what I'd like to do is put the audience where my microphones were when I made those recordings and take people to those places. Because what I do on location, like any sound recordist, it's a solitary experience. When you've got headphones on, you cannot share the world immediately because you're listening in a very intimate way, just one person. And so, but I enjoy that, I like that. It's impossible to share that moment. What I like doing coming here is to share the moment with an audience when you can diffuse it through a large system and represent the space as well as the sounds. So it starts with very mechanical, vibrational sounds, which were made with contact microphones and geophones, which are instruments that were buried in the sand dunes to hear the vibration of the dunes and to hear what I like to think is the formation of the desert. And then the animals and the insects and the other wildlife emerge out of that. And I also imagined it as an arc through a day, through 24 hours. So the evening, the night and the morning and the following day, it follows. I had that when I write a score, effectively, it's a graphic score. I draw pictures of the time and the place and how I'd like to represent it. And then I marry them together in the composition.